Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Welcome everyone to Satsang. Happy as always to see you all. I see a couple of new faces also. Welcome. Happy Diwali. For those of you that are unfamiliar maybe, this is the time of Diwali in India, and this is a time of celebration, family and friends and temple. Diwali is the festival of lights. It also symbolizes new beginnings. So this is an important concept for us, for those of us that are sadhaks or practitioners of some sort or another. This idea of new beginnings. Often, as we practice and we persevere, there can be periods of dryness or periods of uncertainty for us about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and so on. And what the idea or the concept of new beginnings represents is a return to simplicity in our practice and in our lives. Often, when we encounter some mind state which says, I don't understand, I'm not getting this, I'm not progressing, what's happened is that we've moved into a state where the natural complexity of mind has overwhelmed us. And the remedy is to begin again, to return to simplicity, return once again to this recognition, I am that which is aware, to come once again into the gentle heart of being, into here and now, and leave whatever challenges or conflict is rising in the mind or in the heart to resolve itself. We do this by our continuous practice of letting go, of returning to this witness state, this recognition that I am not this, this complexity, this difficulty, this challenge, but rather I am that which is aware of this challenge. In doing so, we're able to step back from whatever the difficulty is into the simple recognition, I am being, consciousness, and bliss, that which is here now. It's in this recognition that I am that which is aware, that we can see the coming and going of mind states, of mental states, of emotional states, of experiences. This is the return to simplicity. This is the celebration of new beginnings. the victory of light over dark. This is the meaning of Diwali. So while we celebrate it during this time each year in India and around the world, it actually is a symbol for what we need to do moment by moment throughout the year whenever we feel confused, uncertain, unsure, or have that sense or that feeling that I am not progressing. Maybe this isn't working for me. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe I will never awaken. These kinds of thoughts, when they arise, the remedy is to return, to begin again, and once again enter simplicity. The mind, left to its own habits, loves to move toward complexity. This is not a bad thing, it's just the natural state of mind. But you are not mind. You are being and consciousness. This seems almost too simple, too direct to a mind which loves complexity, which has bathed itself in complexity, diversity, throughout a lifetime or lifetimes. But this is only the state of mind. And this is not the natural state of being. The natural state of being is here, now, as this awareness. So we return over and over to this natural state of being under all circumstances, in all places, and at all times. And eventually, we come to realize this is what I am. Everything else, through the natural order of things, is rising and falling. But that which I am is eternal and always here, in the here now, when there is no past and there is no future and there is not even a present. Then I am here as this being and consciousness. This being and consciousness is the foundation for all that is, and everything that is only this. So celebrate Diwali this weekend by returning to the simplicity of this awareness. I am that which is aware in this moment and every moment, waking, dreaming, and sleeping. In this moment, you have nowhere to go, nothing to do, no one to be. You simply are being, consciousness, and bliss. So someone sent me a message the other day, or maybe it was today, may have been this morning, that they were experiencing some challenges in terms of sitting, doing a sitting practice. And I know that many of you are engaged in sitting practice. And the challenge was, or is, that during sitting practice, during the inquiry period, when there is just this desire to ask this question, who am I? Or what is aware here now? She said she is not certain she's making any progress, and that she seems to have an easier time slipping into silence when she's at work or she's out shopping, that it just happens spontaneously, that she slips into a natural kind of silence. But when she sits to meditate, this doesn't seem to happen. So I just wanted to address this a little bit, speak to it just a little bit today. One of the things that happens when we enter a state of sitting meditation is that we often become aware of the undercurrents of our own mind. By this I mean, when we're out and about, we're doing things, we're working, we're engaged with other people, we often simply aren't aware of the more subtle undercurrents that are going on underneath wherever our attention is focused at that moment. As soon as we begin to sit, as soon as we begin to say, I have this intention, I want to enter into the silence or the quiet or the here now, however you define that, we actually are able to become aware of the more subtle currents that are running in the background of our own thinking and experiencing all the time. And so then there's this feeling that I'm not able to keep quiet, I'm not able to still the mind, if you will. So first of all, I wanted to point out that what you're viewing when you come to sitting meditation, even when you have the intention to go into deep silence or quiet, is this subtle undercurrent that moves through the mind. This is just the habitual conversations that go on all the time in most minds until those minds are trained into silence or quiet. Now, silence or quiet is the natural state, so it's there all the time. But these subtle currents can veil the natural silence of being. But if we struggle with them, in other words, if we say to ourselves, I don't want this. Why am I not quiet? Why is my mind not still? Why is there always this conversation going on? What we're actually doing is grasping at these habits or this conditioning. And in a way, we can say we're reinforcing it by giving it meaning, by giving it importance. The solution then is simply to become more deeply stable as the witness, watching what is going on here and just letting it go, moving as it will do out of habit. So our task is not to struggle with the mind, not to make decisions about the mind, not to push away the mind. It's rather just to watch it, to remain as the witness. When we do this, we slowly become disinterested in what the content of the mind or the content of the habit patterns are. This loosens the grip of conditioning. Now we're able to simply sit, and when things come, they last for a while, and then naturally they go. They do this on their own if we are in the witness state. But also, something deeper is going on here. When someone says, I don't seem to be progressing, this idea of progressing is what is binding you. This is also a habit of the mind, isn't it? This comes from our daily experience. We start in one place and end up in another. And then we transfer this experience into the inquiry, into our practice. And we say, I'm starting here with all of these problems, with all of this difficulty, with this mind that won't be quiet. And my goal is to end up somewhere else, to change somehow, to become someone else. And then it extends to, I have this goal. I want to awaken. I am searching for enlightenment. This conversation in the mind goes like this. This is the habit pattern of mind which says, we have something to do. Something to become. I must change. And I will be different in the end from where I am now or who I am now. This kind of thinking, which is focused on a goal or focused on progress, is very much a hindrance to realizing who you are, to answering this question, who am I? Because what you are doing is you are trying to get the mind to conform to some idea about who you are or who you should be or who you are becoming. That which you are as being and consciousness is already here. This path of Advaita or inquiry is not about adding on. It's about letting go of what you think you are in order to understand what you truly are. So if you have one of these minds that is oriented toward the goal, I really encourage you to come back to the natural simplicity, which is here now. When you just simply lose interest in the content of your own mind, in your own seeking, when you are willing to come to stopping the search, then the possibility of entering into being, consciousness, and bliss arises. It's always there, but as long as the mind is pursuing a goal, that which you are, in truth, in this moment, in every moment, is hidden. So lose interest in the objects and rest as the witness, as that which is aware. If you simply do this, before long, you'll even drop the witness state and you will simply be resting in the heart as awareness itself. The reason that there's a perception that can arise that no progress is being made is because the attention is still resting or still drawn through habit or conditioning to look at what's present in the mind and think or believe, I am that, I am this thought, I'm this conditioning. Each time that you begin to think in this way, this conditioning is reinforced. And this is why it's necessary to keep coming to the simplicity of realizing that you are not what you are thinking, not what you are experiencing, that you are that which is aware of all of this, and that this awareness itself is the foundation on which all experience, all thinking, all emotion stands. And there's a natural resistance, if you will, that's related to this conditioning. That manifests as the continual return to habitual thinking. The only way that you can effectively undermine this is to keep coming back to the simplicity of the recognition that which is aware is what I am, not what I'm thinking, experiencing, or feeling. We don't deny those things, of course. They're a natural part of having a body-mind. They come and go. They are impermanent. This is the truth of them. What you are is before all of that. And this is what is pointed to by the question, who am I? or what is aware. So keep coming back over and over. Be tireless about this. Be persistent. Success is guaranteed because it is already your nature. It is not what you are becoming, it is who you are. All right.